What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. By the way, do you guys like the change up in the background? I was doing my Christmas one a lot, so then I was like, oh, might as well change it up. And this area right here is one of the other clean background areas. I was gonna do like a plain colored one, but I haven't had time to go to Fabricon and pick some out. But I am gonna do that soon for you guys, just so that I can mix up the background so that it's not like the same one every single day. But anyways, for today's video, we are gonna be talking about how I changed my relationship with food from what it was to what it is now, and how I plan on sustaining this kind of outlook when it comes to food. So if you guys want to know how I developed my relationship with food, then just keep watching. So let me give you guys a background on kind of like my relationship with food and kind of where it is now, and then I'll talk about how I kind of changed it from point A to point B. So before, I used to have a binge eating disorder where I would literally binge straight through for like 2 hours in the pantry. So this was when I obviously didn't have a really good relationship with food, and I would just binge eat all the time. So I'd do really good like maybe halfway through the day or like 3/4 through the day, and then come nighttime I would just sit in my pantry and literally binge for 2 hours. It was pretty bad, and at a certain point it even got to me like purging for a little bit. Like I didn't do it enough to say that I was like bulimic, but I did purge maybe 3 times during that time. And I don't think I've ever really talked about it very much on here or even on my Instagram, just because it is a touchy subject, and you know, it's a touchy subject, plain and simple. But I'm more than happy to open up to you guys about it now. But anyway, so that was the cycle that I was going through, and this started during my first prep, which was back in like 2013. I didn't do proper research into the right coaches, and I just don't think I was mentally prepared for the process, and I think I was just doing it because I wanted to do it. So that could lead me into another topic of talking about should you compete, do I wish I never competed, etc, etc. That could be a separate video. If you guys are interested, let me know and I'll definitely do that for you guys. That's kind of where the cycle started, and it probably kept going for, I'd say, about a year or so. And so my relationship got better from there, but I still saw food as like an enemy, and cheat meals were really bad too, because I would always feel that like a cheat meal, like you have to go all out, like you're never gonna have this food again, like oh my god, stuff your face kind of thing. I guess you could say my binging did continue, but like not as drastically as it was before that, so it got a little bit better. But then when it came to like cheat meals, I would definitely go hard, like as if there was no tomorrow, like literally, like as if there was no tomorrow, and like as if this food was gonna walk away and disappear. So I would definitely go hard on that, but I would never purge after, and it was just the one-time thing, and then I was fine the next day. But so it evolved from stage 1 to stage 2, and then stage 3 would definitely probably be like what it is right now, and that is that I don't really see bad foods. I don't binge anymore. I don't feel super restricted. I just don't have a negative relationship with food. I mean, you know, side note, when you compete, you definitely change the way you look at food, and I don't think that'll ever be undone. I think once I've stepped into the competing world and how we diet for shows, I think that has permanently changed the way I look at food. I am constantly looking at food as the food groups, so protein, carbs, fats, fiber, always. I never look at food as just food, like here's some chicken, here's some rice. Like I don't see it as that. It's like, no, here's some protein, here's some carbs. And unfortunately, I just don't think that's something that will go away, and it's actually fine. I mean, it helps me be a little bit more mindful and cautious of what I eat and how much I eat and stuff, and I think that's why I've been able to eat the way I have been this year without putting on a lot of weight. So I guess to simplify things, the way I look at food now is I don't see it as a negative, and I do always see food as food groups. Is that completely healthy? Maybe not, but it's definitely better than where it used to be. So how did I make these changes is the big question. And honestly, the way I made these changes was, number 1, I stopped stressing about food. Food would constantly consume my brain for the longest time, because I've tried If It Fits Your Macros, I've tried intermittent fasting, I've tried meal plans, which I do now, I've done intuitive eating, I've done almost all the styles of eating. Regardless of the style that I did, food was always on my mind, and that was just super unhealthy because it's like, damn it, like just eat. Like it's food, it's fueling your body, it's giving you energy, it's allowing you to even function right now. And I think shifting my mind to see it as that rather than as like, oh my god, this is like carbs and my body doesn't like carbs, I shouldn't eat this, or you know, I'm gonna gain like so many pounds if I eat this kind of thing. And I think when I shifted my mind to be like, okay, no, like food is fuel. Stop looking at it as something that's going to punish your body or make you fat. Like, just stop. So I think shifting my mindset that way really helped me fix my relationship with food. I think not punishing myself anymore when I would have like a bad food also helped me because, you know, honestly, like a lot of you guys have noticed that I've actually stayed like really, not lean, but I've stayed in decent shape this year. And I always say how like I don't follow my diet really well. I haven't been training really often and etc. and stuff like that. And honestly, it's been because, no, where was I going with that? Let me restart. If I did slip up on my diet, or if I do slip up on my diet, I should say, I never punish myself for it, like, ever. So, obviously right now, like I said in some of my previous videos, I am working on losing like 10 pounds from now until the end of January. And so yeah, I'm following a plan right now, but I mean, if for whatever reason I didn't stay, you know, on top of it, I don't punish myself for it. I don't like throw myself a pity party. I don't pick myself apart. I don't say I'm a bad person. Like, I just don't punish myself for it because that does literally nothing for me. And all I do is learn from it and move on to the next meal, move on to the next day, whatever it may be. If you had a bad breakfast, then move on for your next meal, have a good one. Like, it's really simple. Like, just drop that negative thought and just move on. Like, why should you punish yourself for it? Why should you think about it? Like, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to come out of your system. It's not going to like just magically disappear from your system and not affect you whatsoever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stressing about these things is so unnecessary. And I've said this before, I honestly think because I don't stress about what I eat or what I don't eat or what I train or what I don't train is why I haven't really gained weight since a long time. I've maintained my weight for a really, really long time, and I honestly think that's why, is because I've just dropped all of that stuff when it comes to food. If I do a great job, awesome. If I do a bad job one day, that sucks, but move on. Like, it is what it is. And honestly, like, that's what you guys got to do in order to build a better relationship with food, is just to take that, all those things, all those thoughts, all those labels, well, not all, because obviously I haven't dropped the food group label, but dropping majority of those labels and just dropping all that negativity that comes with our foods, and just dropping that and not thinking about that, honestly has made like a really huge difference in how I am with food. Now, you know, like I'll be, yeah, I'm on a meal plan, but like for example tonight I'm going out with friends and we're gonna have Chinese food or pizza. Well, I'm not starving myself all day in order to have that food tonight. Like, cool, I'm gonna have some Chinese food or pizza tonight. Like, it is what it is, it's food. You know, so, I mean, obviously, like, I'm cautious about my portions, and I think the next day, like, okay, I had quite a bit of carbs, you know, yesterday. Like, I want to use those calories to have a really good workout today, and, you know, maybe I won't have carbs in all 5 meals today. Maybe I'll only have it in, like, 3. But I definitely don't cut my carbs at all. Like, yeah, it's fine to adjust a little bit to balance things out, like, by all means. Like, especially when you have a goal to, like, lose weight or whatever it is. Like, yeah, it's totally fine to, you know, make adjustments a little bit, but don't do anything drastic is what I'm saying. I think too many times people make huge drastic changes when they mess up on their diet or whatever it is, and that's where you get, like, serious issues with food, is when you, like, you know, like I've said in this video already, when you punish yourself, that's when, you know, this vicious cycle begins. And I think the main thing that you can take away from this video is to just care less. Seriously, care less. If I want something, I'll just eat it. Like, if I want rice instead of sweet potatoes, I'll have rice. If I want to have too many chocolate bars instead of rice, I will have too many chocolate bars. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking at food as, like, good and bad. I'm just seeing it as carbs is carbs. Like I said, it's not healthy that I'm still looking at, you know, food as the food groups. I mean, kind of not healthy. But the fact that I can put the two, like the good and bad foods together now is a huge accomplishment. I just see it as the macro values of each food. So I think that's something that has really helped me, is that I haven't restricted myself. And, you know, even my diet plan has an exchange list on there, and that I think during prep is really good, because if I want salmon instead of, you know, steak, I can do that. So I'm really thankful that my coach, Freak Fitness, Darren Mailing, gives me an exchange list that I can use all the way up until like the last few weeks of prep, because that allows me to have variety. So that brings me to my other point, just adding variety to your meal plan really helps you stay sane. You need to stay sane in order to build a good relationship. So to stay sane, you gotta add variety and not restrict yourself from certain foods. Of course, when we prep, that's a different story. Like, there's some things you can't swap. Like, I can't swap my rice for chocolate during prep, and I just gotta accept that. And I know that because I'm training for a purpose. But when it comes to day to day, like, this is just for day to day. Just keep that in mind. This isn't for prep or anything. But for day to day, like, in order for me to have a good relationship, I need to have variety. Enjoying my food and actually appreciating the food in front of me has definitely changed my relationship as well. Like I said before, I would see my food as like, oh my god, I gotta scarf this down kind of thing, and like I wouldn't really like sit down and enjoy it and see it as like fuel for my body. I used to see it as like I said, like something that'll either make me lose weight or gain weight. And so now I just, you know, I see the food that I have, and I'm thankful that I have food on my plate, and I'm thankful that I can eat, and I just enjoy that food, because that food is what fuels my mind and allows me to walk, allows me to work out, allows me to work, allows me to talk, everything, right? So just seeing food as something really good and precious really changes your relationship with food as well, because you just have a whole new appreciation for it, and you no longer want to label it as something that's either good for you or bad for you. And just remember that food is what allows us to live. Like, don't forget about that. Like, without food, that's it. You know, we can only survive, I think, like 3-5 days without food or something like that. So if you guys didn't have food, y'all wouldn't be watching this video right now, would you? And I wouldn't be talking right now. So just think of it that way. Just see it as what it is, and not what society has made it appear to be. I hope this makes sense. But anyways, I think that's about everything that I want to say when it comes to building a good relationship with your food. It's to just see it differently. I'm seeing a pattern in a lot of these sit-down videos when it comes to how you did this, how you did that, and honestly, it all comes down to mindset and how you see things, perspective. That it's really, really simple, you guys. And just keep in mind that it did take me a few years to get to where I am. I think this is the best relationship I've ever had with food as of this year. And think about it, I've been in my fitness journey for like 4 to 5 years now, so it's taken me about 3 to 4 years to get here. So it's not going to happen overnight, but as long as you're putting the small, cautious efforts every single day to be better and to have a better relationship with your food, then I promise you, one day it will honestly just click, and it'll be consistent, and you will permanently have fixed your relationship with food. Like I said, this doesn't have anything to do when it comes to prepping. It's, you know, it's definitely different when it comes to prepping, of course, but this is more for like just the off season or the day-to-day kind of thing. So like I said at the beginning of this video, if you guys want to see a video where I kind of talk about how my relationship with food changed because of prep, and if I feel that, you know, like what my advice would be for those thinking of doing a competition when it comes to like the food aspect of things and like the relationship aspect of things, then definitely let me know in the comment section, and I can definitely do that for you guys, because I think that's a whole other topic on its own. So yeah, so that is my food relationship journey. I hope this video helped you guys a little bit, and if it did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys are still kicking around at this point, thank you so much. If you guys want to watch more of my videos from this 25 Days of Christmas with GT series, then just keep watching over here. And if you guys aren't subscribed already, make sure to do so over here. I'm serious. Make sure you're subscribed, because I know many of you are not. So do it right now. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.